Hello everyone, welcome here. Today we're going to play some Timberborn. And I think we're going to start a new game because last time we managed to get ourselves into a situation we're not easily going to get out of due to lack of starting knowledge. Well, this time we have a little more starting knowledge. Actually, I want to use that save name again. So let's delete that save. Hello. Oh. There we go. Okay, let's delete that save and pretend it never happened. And we're start over, same map, same everything. And this time, we have some idea of what the order of the bombs exploding is going to be. Okay. So, we need to make it an absolute top priority to get over here and dam this off. That must not ever open. So that is our big guiding light for this run, I suppose. Okay, so first of all, we want a water pump. Also, I'm going to try to design this town a little bit better than we did last time. Let me think. Yeah, we can put water tanks along here. Water pumps along here. We're going to need a couple of them eventually. We'll start with a gatherer flag over here. One should be plenty for now. I kind of want that. Boom. Okay. Let's get those guys down. Put in a tree cutting order for all these trees. That'll do. Okay, what else do we need before we even get started? We've got initial water, initial food, initial building materials. And then the next thing we should get is early science, because we're going to need every last bit of science we can get our little beavery paws on. And then the very next thing is going to be a farmhouse, which I'm going to put over here this time. And we will order the planting of some kohlrabi over there. And over there. Okay. And then, let's see. I don't want to lay out too much. So I think the last thing we're going to do is we're going to place, as soon as I remember where it is. There we go. We're going to place a breeding pod. And that'll be that. Okay. Why don't we grab the Badwater and move it somewhere else? Well, that is the eventual plan, hopefully. Okay. We need some water tanks here as well. Let's get 2 of them. And then we need to assign them to water. This is an important job. We need somebody there. Okay, next thing's next. We need to put a dam down here. That is fairly important. For our first drought. And additionally, we need to put a dam up there so we can get to the other side in case of emergency. Right now I'm not terribly worried about it, but we're going to try to keep our water use under control. Or wood use under control. Until we can get the, what do I call it? Speaking of which, lumber mill. It's going to need to go down here somewhere. The lumber mill is going to be required for building the forester's hut. So this is a necessary use of wood. All right. And with that, I believe the settlement is completed until such time as we can have enough science points to build the get the forester. Which it only takes 30, so we're almost there already. Another couple days and we'll have the forester down. Then once this is all built, we can get a forester up. Okay. Yeah, I remember a very long time ago when Timberborn was still young, there were 3 kinds of tree. There's still 3 kinds of tree, but originally you had your standard pine trees. There were beech trees, was it? No. Chestnut trees, that's what it was. That were basically the super trees that oaks are now. And then there were birch trees. But birch trees weren't for wood like they are now. So now birch trees are for your emergency, I need some wood right now, even if it's inefficient. The fast growing, not very many logs per cut. Generally all around kind of terrible trees. But originally birch trees were for food. Beavers would eat birch. Okay, we assuredly can purchase the forester now. Yes, we can. And then we'll put it right there. Keep fixing missing path pieces as the trees in their way grow up. And okay, that one's about half grown. We can't build the forester yet anyway, because we don't have the logs necessary to build those. Looks like we need about 40 more. We should have plenty for that. Yeah. We just need the wood-cutting beavers to work a little harder. Oh wait, no, they have plenty of logs in storage. Where storage means parked at the flag. Okay. We're not going to have a wood crisis this time around, I don't think. I am going to go ahead and not remove these trees yet because this is still isn't... Okay, that's built now. Good. I might order some of these small trees to be deleted if they're still in the way. No, they'll be cut down in time. Yeah, no big deal. Okay. We do need to add a storage building for food. I don't necessarily want to put it right beside this thing, but I probably should. Put it behind it. We'll get rid of that bush. And then we'll build a medium warehouse right there. For kohlrabi. The farmhouse isn't full of kohlrabi, but that's fine. I'd like to keep it that way. Okay. The forester is almost done. I really want to plant oaks, but I can't justify it. We need the wood too soon. So, let's go ahead and order the planting of pines right here. In a second when that tree grows. Actually, I'm just going to delete it. It's going to take too long. Get rid of that, please. Thank you. Okay. The first drought, we shouldn't need any water storage because this will work. Okay, you will store kohlrabi. We should build another storage for berries. Sadly for me, we don't really have a good place to put it. We'll put it right there. And at least this guy can get off his ass and actually harvest all the berries we have available. I'm going to let the berries spread to fill this area. I'll probably put a second farmhouse here eventually, when we need to. Okay, and then we can fix that problem. And we can start planting our new batch of trees. Next up, now that we have trees handled, more water is a good thing. Can never have too much of it. Okay. Next up, we need to buy... Okay, next up, I am realizing I don't actually want trees planted right in there. I want to be able to use this to get up, to build a staircase to get up top. Okay. Housing is probably the next priority. No, actually getting across this is the next priority. Because it will take a while for these trees to grow. So I would like to harvest these trees over here as well. Also, these lumberjack flags can be moved. I want a pair of them over here. And additionally, we should build a log storage over here. I don't want it over there. We're going to be doing most of our building over here. So technically I put the log storage right here and that'd be fine. That does mean there's a long ways to haul it over to here. So I'd probably put another smaller staging storage over there with a higher priority. Okay, anyway, you will hold logs. And I should put in another pile over here to hold planks. Because we're going to need a ton of planks in the short term. And long term for that matter. So we might as well make as many as we can get our hands on. More beavers. Let's put another breeding pod there. Okay, that tree's 98% of the way to grown, so we'll get rid of that soon. This should be top priority right now. As much as I want these other things built, we need to get across this river. They should be building a priority anyway, because they build things more or less in designation order. I think, correctly. But marking it priority doesn't hurt anybody. And that'll get us across over to there. We can cut wood. Speaking of which, let's clear up our wood cutting designations a little bit. Boom. Okay. Let's do that. Mark for cutting. Unmark everything outside the thorns. Okay. We'll have to remove those thorns eventually, but for right now it's not important, so we won't. This is going to be designated for tree planting as well once it's fully cleared. Okay. Now, we are past the early initial emergency stages. Let's go ahead and get some barracks down so we have basic beaver happiness. Speaking of basic beaver happiness, we can drop a campfire over here. We're going to need a tooth grindstone to repair these little idiots, so we'll put it over there. Eventually, I want this space left open for lumberjack flags and stuff like that. Should be necessary. Rooftop terrace would be quite nice, but we can't do that until we have, at a minimum, stairs. Let me think. Okay, we don't have enough points to buy a platform yet. That's fine. That tree's got to go soon. Maybe I should build a temporary lumberjack flag over here. I should probably get a second pump going now. Alright, once they remove that tree, we'll put another house in here. It's going to take a little while before they finish the rest of the stuff up. I think after they build that, next is the breeding pod. Yep, okay, good. Because we do want that second breeding pod so we can get a little bit more beaver population going. We do have a good amount of berries stored. That's nice. I'd rather more kohlrabi, but I really need to get a second farmhouse. And I should probably get a third breeding pod going. Let's take these up one step of priority so they hurry up on them. And you finish that quickly. I want to get population up higher. Okay, so your priority is to harvest, and your priority will be to plant. That way we always have some beavers doing both. And instead of harvest, plant, which takes forever, they'll just mass harvest and then mass plant. Well, sort of. Anyway. We have enough to get the much needed platform. I really want the double platform, but I cannot possibly justify it. Boom, boom. There we go. That gets us the rooftop terrace. Boom. Okay. And while we're at it, we might as well place a decorative shrub right there. Boom. That'll make everybody nice and happy. Housing. Second barracks. We're going to need more than just 2 barracks. Shrubs are cheap. It doesn't matter. We can place... Do I want to put these back to back? If I put these back to back, then we're going to want to do the rooftop terrace a little different. Yeah, okay, let's do this. Well-being. No. Decoration. Shrub. Boom. Okay. Not putting that there after all. Rooftop terrace goes there. Rooftop terrace goes here. Boom, boom. Path. To there. Then we can put decorative bullshit up top here. And it'll cover a nice wide area. It's not really the important part though. Alright, that'll be a nice large beaver complex that'll last us for a good long while. Or beaverplex, maybe we should call it. And I just realized that maybe we should have done this slightly differently, because then we could have had steps on top of the house going up there. No, we couldn't, not easily. Alright. Well, we still can have steps on top of the house. It would just have to be done annoyingly. So we're not going to. Yeah, no. Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to extend this path here up. And I hope that'll work. No, it won't work. It's not going to be tall enough. We can make it work, though. Yeah, getting to the top of that cliff, extremely important. Wait, is there a better place we could do this? Yes, we could do it over here in this end. That's a way better idea. Way cheaper. Okay, I take back everything I've done here. We may want path up that part of the cliff later, but not right now. This over here. This will get us up top to there, and then we can put in... We don't have enough points to unlock that, so we got to use the dam structure. But that's fine, it'll get us over there, that's all that matters. Okay. Okay. Bump the priority on that so we don't have a chipped tooth beaver running around. And let's bump the priority on this because we're going to need more woodcutting beavers. Or we're going to need more water to supply our higher beaver population. We already have a lack of beavers to do our jobs, but that's why we built 3 breeding pods. Yeah. Okay. No planks in storage because we're using them as fast as we get them placed. No. Place that like there, and then okay, tooth grindstone's almost done. That'll be useful and helpful. We're using logs as fast as we can get our hands on them, which is not at all surprising. I'm going to plant this area full of oaks. And I'm going to plant this area full of oaks. We're going to plant a ton of oaks because oaks are really good for wood production. They're way more efficient than pines. We're going to need pines later for other things. Actually, no, we're going to plant this corner with pines because I'm going to want a permanent pine forest eventually. So this can be the permanent pine forest. This over here is going to turn into a big oak forest eventually once I have enough wood that we're not struggling constantly. Which currently we're not struggling constantly, but yeah. Okay. Should I add a 4th breeding pod? Our current beaver happiness is really low. Thing is, once beaver happiness starts going up, we're going to have a population explosion. So this should not be maxed out. That should only be 1 tick up. Yeah, we need to start building up. We need to get that housing up. I should probably plant some mangroves, just because why not? Free food. Okay, that'll work. We can put a gatherer's flag right there to gather mangroves. And everyone will, at least in theory, be happy. The first of our planted trees are growing up. That's good. I change these guys back. Prioritize planting, because sure, we've got all these harvestable kohlrabi, but yeah. Okay. We're currently understaffed on beaver population, but if I build too many more breeding pods, we're going to end up with a beaver population explosion, maybe. And that could end up being bad. We don't want so much beaver population that eat us out of house and home. I actually don't want that tile planted right there. I want to bring a road out somewhere. Through there is probably a good idea eventually. Okay, well-being continues to go up. Got the campfire. We're about to get the second house, which should get everybody housed for now. Okay. We can get beavers up on top of the houses. Once the third house is done, then they can build the rooftop terrace, which will make happiness go up even more. And then that should get a 20% lifespan increase for beavers across the board, which will help with our understaffing eventually. I just need more population very badly, because we need to cut more trees. We don't really have a whole lot more trees to cut, but okay, well-being score of 7. It's very good. I'd really like to run a third lumberjack flag, or fourth lumberjack flag, but we can't even run a third one yet. Okay, now we have 5 beds more than we technically need. They should be working on the rooftop terrace, which is good. Okay, beaver housing's taken care of. Beaver happiness, good enough TM. Beaver food, waiting only on the need for more farmers. So that's currently solved enough for our current population and will automatically solve itself as we get more population. Since we already have the infrastructure built. We just need more wood. And we're not going to get more wood without more beaver. And we're not going to get more beaver without time. These 3 breeding pods should be enough to completely fill that housing if my math is correct. Also, what do you mean? Oh, I see what I did. Oops. Okay, there we go. I did that before, too. Alright, now we have rooftop terraces, campfire. I have 153 science. We need the levy, which is 120. Okay, an important fundamental building block. We can go in here and delete that. Put the cheaper levies in. Over here. Nice cheap levies. Okay. That'll be good. Now, boom. This whole construct is high priority. That's construct high priority. This is high priority. That's all high priority. Alright, once that's walled off, the next step will be getting up to here and walling this one off. Which I might as well just go ahead and lay in the plans for that. Okay. Yeah, this is the one that I want to seal. Or, you know, build a wall around and hopefully cause it to come out the other side instead. This one we don't care about necessarily because we are protected from its depredations, more or less. Or at least we can work around its eventual problems much more easily than the rest. Okay, getting up top here to fix this is going to be non-trivial. I really need the double platform. Well, okay, let's not worry about building stairs up here yet. I will worry about that when we actually need it. Or when we're done with this and can then focus on that. Not gonna be for a while yet. Beaver population is going up, slowly but surely. Which means beaver food should be going up, slowly but surely. It kind of is. I kind of need a hauling post eventually, but I don't need it yet. Beavers can do their own hauling for the moment. Yeah. We seem to be doing okay on water, so that's good. They're finally working out here, so that's good as well. I would like to get up here and preemptively wall this, so we won't ever have a problem from that. But that's such a low priority that we can do that at any time in the future. Like, if this one explodes, we're not going to have any trouble. We'll just have to open this dam before it does and let it flow out. There's much bigger problems we'll have to worry about before then. Oh, wait. Yeah, that will blow that dam open. Okay, that's what that core is supposed to do. I really need to dam this canyon off. Actually, if this one blows, it's going to let the water out. And we'll lose water pressure at our settlement. Water will bubble up out of here. If this one blows and this one blows, then we're going to have contamination. So we really need to get a bridge or thing built across the middle there to prevent this from contamination. Whatever, we'll worry about it later. It's something we gotta keep in mind though. We still don't have enough beaver population. We have an injured beaver now. I can't afford a medical bed. Okay, they are getting over to here and building this stuff, correct? Soon, okay. Drought approaching. That's fine. This drought shouldn't cause any problems. The mangroves aren't ready yet, so we can just not worry about that for the time being. Okay. With this construction started, that's awesome. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot we can do until that's built. We just kind of gotta wait for it. Okay. So I'm going to order 2 more workers here, and I'm going to set this to a low priority job. Which unfortunately someone just died of old age, which means now we only have 2 workers here. Oh well. Got 3 young beavers. I'm going to add another breeding pod. I should have done this a while ago, I guess. I was really hoping I wouldn't need... Okay, we have enough gatherer flags. We don't need a second one over here. Got plenty of kohlrabi. That's going well. Yeah, we can support more beavers. The main thing we'd have to do is build a little more housing, maybe. But like now we're not... We have 22 extra housing slots. We can afford to get the beaver population up a little bit. Okay. We just gotta wait. We do have logs in storage. That's good. We do have planks in storage. That's even better. So we're not falling behind on the wood cutting or anything. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and convert this all over to oak. Oh wait, no, okay, that is doing what I wanted to do. Well, not quite what I wanted to do, but close enough. Once those pines are cut down, we'll order oaks planted in there. Because we need more oaks. Oaks are much more efficient for wood cutting. And that'll help with our population quite a lot. Okay, I would like these to be top priority right now. Building lacks power. Yeah, it's because we're in a drought. What do you expect? This might be the first drought that's long enough that we lose all water in the bay here. But that'll be fine. We won't have any actual issues because of that. Hopefully. Okay, so there is a water seep over here that I think would be relatively easy to defend. So I'm just debating if there's any good ways for me to get that water to our settlement, and I think there actually is. I'll have to look at this when the Badwater is flowing, but if we can stop Badwater from coming out of this hole, which I suspect we probably can, then we could get this water seep. We could do some major beaver engineering over here and get it to come down and around through this channel, pour down in here, build a little artificial channel and dump it in the main bay there. And that would help defend us against Badwater polluting our main seep. Alternatively, much more easily, if we had dynamite, we could blow a hole through there or dig a channel. Because if we had the capability of digging a tunnel, we could dig a tunnel through here and let this seep flow straight into this river, dump over the edge into here. if there was bad water welling out of the ground right here, we could just flow it on out. It would contaminate our river a lot, but we would move our water pumping upstream then. So even in case of terrible emergency, we can put in some temporary stuff using this water seep if we can keep this out of it. And I think if we raise the level of this by 1 level, the bad water should all come out over here instead. I think. So that's not next priority, but pretty high up on the priority list is to test that theory. Okay. We have full complement of beaver workers, finally. This is getting built. It's going to go slow because we don't have... It's a long ways away from our main base. It's just the way it is. Not a whole lot we can do about it. Yeah, see, I'd really like to... I'd really like to collect the stuff from this water seep. With this bad water. Yeah, currently the water just flows off the map there. Isn't useful. But if I could dam across to this and remove this blockage and dam across to here, it would flow out that way. It wouldn't be an amazing source of water, but it'd be better than nothing. Okay, what do we need for dynamite? Because I think dynamite is going to be our next most useful thing. Oh, where even is dynamite again? Landscaping, that's where it is, of course. Explosive factory requires bad water, which we will not have any trouble getting. 400 science. 150 horsepower. It requires materials that I'm not even sure I recognize. What is that? A bolt or something? Metalsmith. Metal parts. Okay. Oh, that's the cheap metal stuff you make from scrap metal. I forgot they added that. Okay. So this doesn't require power or anything. It just takes wood, metal scrap, and makes metal parts. So we're going to have to get up top here to get to that metal scrap soon. That's good, because that means we can dam this off too as soon as it blows. Okay, but getting up there is less important than damming this, so let's not distract our builders. Right now I just kind of want to don't do a thing that requires our builders to work around the main base. We wanted to build this off so I don't have to worry about it. That's a long ways away, but it's just the way things got to be for now. I could maybe speed them up a little bit if I build a small industrial pile out here. That would hold 20 logs. Yeah, we can do that. Okay, let's build a small industrial pile here. Order logs to fill it, set priority to highest, and then we don't have quite enough people to make this work yet. But the next thing we would do is we would get a hauling post. And we would order beavers to haul wood to there. As it is, there will be some beavers who will haul logs to that. And that will speed up construction very slightly. We'll set it to obtain. Currently it says haulers, we need haulers for that, but yeah, that's fine. We'll build a hauling post once we have free workers, which, look at that, we have some free workers. Boom, hauling post. Set this as a low priority workplace. A highest priority construction job. Okay. This will be kind of where any overflow workers who are otherwise not busy will go to the hauling post to work. Basically, any beavers who aren't working will first go to work at the construction workplace, the district center. And then when the district center is full, any extras beyond that will then go to the hauling post. So it's going to constantly complain that we have vacant positions, but that's fine. That's normal. As long as it's less than 10 vacant positions, things are all going well. But importantly, that should get some logs hauled to this industrial pile, which should speed up construction because then they can just make a couple of trips while they're out here. They probably won't very often because, like, if they're hungry or tired by the time they get out here, then they'll just turn around and go home. But see, up right there, they just emptied this of its logs and got 2 or 3 times as much done as what they could have gotten otherwise. Not a huge optimization, but it's useful. We only have one hauler, so it's not like he's getting a whole lot done on his own. Alright, next thing to worry about, I'm going to worry about this. We'll leave this for last, because this is the problem that's going to happen first, but it's also the problem I can fix the easiest, so we're just going to ignore it. We're going to go at problems in order of how hard they're going to be to fix, basically. What's it going to take to build the impermeable barrier? That requires actual metal stuff from a smelter, which the smelter is a bigger deal than the metalsmith. Okay. I should probably get... I'd really like to get another research thing down, but we cannot justify it at the moment. If I had just a couple more haulers, I would build a research and turn one of them into a researcher. Not sure why they're insisting on building it from this side. Doesn't really make it take any longer though, so I'm just going to leave it. But yeah, we need dynamite. Dynamite is going to be of critical importance, and this is going to cost 400 science, and it's going to take metal parts to build. So we need metal parts before we need dynamite, which means it's going to take us 550 science to get access to dynamite. Except not really. Because after that, we still have to unlock the actual dynamite, which is another 600 science. Or tunnels, which would be even more useful in some ways, would cost 2k and require even more resources that we can't get. We definitely need more researchers. We have 2 haulers now, that's useful. I kind of like a few more before I start building more researchers, but we need to have another researcher. Science is what's going to keep us alive. This wall's almost done. That's very good. And those bastards did not bring logs with them. They just grabbed logs out of the pile, but that's fine. We only have 3 pieces left to go, so we're almost done out here. Okay, next up, this. We also need to get the floodgate, so we might as well grab that now. Technically, if I build a floodgate across there and close it, that should be enough to test proof of concept as to whether it'll cause the water to come out the other side. For now, it's order floodgates built and order them opened. And then path across the back of it so they can get to those to build it. Okay, we need to get up on top of this somehow. Okay. Bastards. Stupid beavers always getting in the way. That's not going to work either. Let me think. We're going to have to build a lot more platforms than I really initially wanted to. Alright. Let's just do this way. Boom. Okay. What am I thinking? Of course that's not going to work. Okay. That's a really annoying thing just to keep the bastards from getting stuck on this level. Okay, this wall is built. When that blows, we should be completely safe from bad water coming from that direction. So now the next priority is this up here. Once this is built, we can do some testing to see if we can cause the bad water to come out over here only. If we can, then this water source will be available for our use. Which is going to be huge. To be a colossal problem. Not necessarily solved, but okay. Actually, here. I don't want to do that way. Put a levee there. And then a dam across the lip of it. And then here downstream, we got to put a levee in. Actually, demolish only the end one so they can actually reach it. Okay. Gonna mark that as a low priority construction for now. I'd like to put some way of letting water out that way later. Probably just should put in a double floodgate here, but for now we'll just leave it alone. Now, next things next, we do want to have another industrial pile up here. Two of them. One for remote log storage, one for remote plank storage. For area construction. And then eventually we gotta do something about the future waterfall here to prevent it from flooding the whole area. I'm still making the assumption that this is gonna work. I don't know yet. It might not work. If it doesn't work, then we're going to have bad water spilling down from above, and we'll have temporary contamination we'll have to deal with, and it'll be very exciting, and yeah. Okay, let's get a gatherer flag and put it over here. And you will prioritize mangrove fruit. Now, let's get rid of these damn trees over here, please. Okay, I want a levee there. That'll help control the waterfall a little bit. Boom. Boom. Okay. Gonna let this become a pond, I don't care. That's gotta be demolished. And then this will all work very nicely, I believe. Okay, that'll get us out to there and get that stuff built. And then build some paths across that. For up here, I want a dam across the lip of that. Get that all built. And then boom. Thought I ordered that to be made into... Okay, those gotta be demolished. Let's demolish that. I want to put a path through here. So we can get up top on that water spillway. Okay. So this is now safe. So we're almost ready to seal that, or try to. Okay, this is gonna blow. That's fine. We can deal with that. All we need to do is remove this dam for now. By next drought, I want to send people up there and have this blocked off. It should be relatively easy just to build a couple things across there, and that'll get us access to ruins as well, which is good. Yeah, I really want to test these floodgates. Which will happen any year now. I'm going to go ahead and build another inventor. Because we need more science. Also, I'm going to set that to max priority so we can get a guy gathering mangrove fruits. Okay, it'll take one more platform constructed before we can build the last floodgate. I'd like to be able to put the Badwater pumps up here. We're going to need a Badwater pump eventually. And it wouldn't be the worst possible place for it. Over here would be the other good place for it. Yeah, anyway. Assuming these work, we're going to build a closer thing around it, and we might cap it permanently if I can. Okay, so this is getting built. That's good. Let's keep demolishing that dam. Got a decent amount of planks in storage. We have plenty of food in storage. We have plenty of logs in storage. Okay. Close the floodgates here. Now, we're no longer dumping contaminants downstream. The question is, will this stop filling? We should double the flow out of here. And this shouldn't overflow. It's not getting any deeper. Okay. Hell yeah. We have a clean water source over here we can make use of. I'd like to build this a little taller to be safer, but it looks like we're good. Too deep? Doesn't look like it. I think we're good. Okay. We do need to worry about all the crap flowing down there in a second, though, because it's going to blow very soon. I'd really like to have it not. Now how are we going to get up on this cliff? I guess over here is the place to do it. Go away. There we go. I really need to unlock the double platform at least, but that costs science points I can ill afford to spend. Okay. This is all lower priority than this over here, though. Which they should naturally go build this next just because of construction designation order. Yeah, they're already starting to build this. Once this is built, once this is opened, then we're going to have water pouring down there. Which I don't know if I necessarily appreciate. Let's put a dam across the top there. I'm going to have to raise the priority of some of this stuff a little bit. Like the most basic stuff here needs to be prioritized slightly so that we're ready for water to come flowing this direction before it happens. What's down at the bottom of this dry hole? An explosive. Let's not dump water on top of an explosive. I don't want to know what happens if we do that. So how about we cancel that demolition? Not that it's going to happen just right away, but... levee across there. I may want to demolish that levee someday and let water pour down that hole, but for now, no I don't. Okay, where's the easiest way to go over to this side? Probably right across there. Yeah, it's gonna be 6 long no matter where we put it in here. Let's put it there. Okay, then this is going to be high priority as well. Get that built first. Okay. All is well in the beaver universe. Also, we only have 3 beavers who aren't working, which means we have a ton of haulers available. That's both good and bad. It means we need to start cranking on more stuff. I think the next thing we actually need is a builder's hut. We can get some of these bastards to start building things instead of running around. Okay, this is another low priority job. Oh yeah, I needed to designate planting oaks in here. Okay. It's going to take a while to demolish. Okay, this is all opened up and ready for that to blow. We've got 2 days before it goes. Alright. So yeah, our plan here is to dump more water into this. Not because we necessarily need more water, but because if our water here gets contaminated, the extra flow will help keep it clear. And because worst case, we can build like a tower of levees around that center hole and just have the clean water come in. I might even end up doing that, building as tall of a tower around this as I can. Or not even, technically I don't even need a tower. If I just open this bottom side up, then the water is going to flow out there and not come up through the center hole. So that's another thing we're protecting against by building this second water source. If this bomb explodes, we're going to lose our water pressure and this won't be filled anymore. And so with the secondary water flow, all we'll have to do is stop our secondary water from going out this hole and we'll be covered. Actually, wait, that is a higher priority construction. I set the priority low on the wrong thing in the builder's hut. Okay, actually you are a high priority now. I set that low priority to keep him from building it before this, and I forgot to set it back. But anyway, I'm very glad that this worked, that we were able to block that in and not have to worry about it. I probably had the time, actually, to go ahead and build up to here and block this off before it explodes. We could have avoided this whole wave of stuff that's going to come down on top of us, but oh well. It should flood this area a little bit and then recede, and that'll be that. Also, the drought's going to happen right shortly after this explodes. So even if things like really truly go to hell, we'll still be fine. Yeah, see, big wave of crap, and then it recedes and we're good. And then the water flowing through here pushes it out. This should clear up in a moment. Yeah, okay. Now, when this drought happens, I would kind of like to get up here and put in the levees across the top of this. But realistically, that's not going to happen. In some ways, I'd kind of like to have the levees over here on the edge, and then we can have a big pool to suck Badwater out of. But I can do that later. This is cheaper. But getting up to here is going to take a while and be expensive, and it also depends on these levees being built. And bleh. Yeah, long story short, we're not getting there anytime soon. Okay, so this water management is almost done. Can you guys remove these damn thorns already? Come on, hurry up. We do have an injured beaver wandering around. I should... How much science do we have? 900. Okay, we're doing pretty well on science. Let's go ahead and buy the medical bed. Boom. Sneak it in right underneath that. then let's get the medical bed priority if I can select the damn thing. Okay, fine, I can't. We'll have to do it this way. Hello? Game? I can't select it to change this priority. I can't even change this priority with priority tool. Maybe I can if I drag in from the side. There we go. Alright. Boom. That's huge right there. Now we can put a levee right there. Bump its priority slightly. Alright. Got a lot of construction to happen. So let's put this in medium priority tasks. We have more builders, less haulers. I was hoping they would balance across between the two, but apparently not. Right now we need all the builders we can get working. Because this needs to get done. I mean, it doesn't need to get done, but I want it to get done. This is extremely useful. But it's not emergency yet. Okay, that bomb is completely it's not going to do anything to us. We don't care. This bomb is the next to go, probably. We don't care. It's contained. Every other bomb that I know of, we have something in place that will at least contain the worst of it. That secondary water source is going to save our asses, I think. Yeah, okay. Well. Oh, I see. Like, why aren't they planting those mangroves? Because he can't get over there, that's why. It's too far away from his little hut. Well, the first of the oaks are growing up. Each of those is worth 8 logs instead of 2. Like these pines. Damn it, I was going to leave this as permanent pine forest. And then I forgot about that and designated it oak because I was like, why am I even doing this the way? Okay. I'm going to order this all replanted as oak. Hopefully that took. It should have. We'll see when these first couple get cut down what happens, what they turn into. And then later we'll redesignate this as pine once we... Actually, let's do it right now while I'm thinking about it. Boom. Boom. That should work. Got a lot of hungry and thirsty beavers, but that's because they're running way out here to work. And they gotta run way back. It's not conducive to long-term beaver happiness and health, but we just kind of got to live with it for now. Once again, I would like to reiterate how happy I am that the district system was changed. It used to be, in days of yore, that districts could only reach out so far. And if you went beyond that distance, you had to build a new district. You couldn't just have your beavers work a little farther away or anything. They would only go so far and then no farther. For a construction job like this, you would have to build a little construction district over here that had a little bit of beaver housing, some storage for the materials, storage for food, storage for water. You'd have to produce more food and water on site, or you'd have to haul it all in. So it'd take more beavers to run all that stuff over there. It just wasn't a great time. This way, if you're just doing a construction project a long ways away, you can just have the beavers go do it. Sure, it's inefficient. Sure, it sucks. But it's so much better than having to build a whole district for it. Also, we are using up water up fast during that drought. We're going to need to get bigger water storages. Or more water storages, more likely. We'll put at least one more in for now. That's not going to make much difference, but... And we probably need another water pump, honestly. So let's set that up. Okay, come on. Start pouring through here. There we go. Finally. Yeah, wash that bad tide away. It killed a whole bunch of our blueberries, unfortunately, but that's fine. We don't need them. We're not harvesting the ones we have. I could add like irrigation barrier along the edge there, but irrigation barrier costs stuff we don't have yet, although we could get it if we had to. Also a lot of science I don't want to spend. Speaking of science, let's get this metalsmith. Stick it over here. And then run that path over to here. Boom. That should get us access up here to the metal eventually, TM. We'll put our metal gatherer flags up here. But that is another reason why we're building up to the top of this cliff, is so we can get to metal. It's not purely for the continuing survival of the beaver race. It's also so we can build cool metal things for them. It'd be quite nice when we have more water flowing in here, because it'll flood that bad water out faster. And as soon as we get that wall built up there, it'll solve the problem for good. Unstable core, 8 days. Okay, this core, we already planned for that. We already have the solution in place. It happens pretty quickly after the first core. Ooh. That's why we had issues last time. I figured we'd have more time between after the first core. We did not. But this problem is pre-solved, so it won't be a problem. It's whatever cores explode after this that is going to be the real issue for us. Anything that contaminates the water coming up out of here, of which there's a broad variety of options. Those two, for example. There's 2 more over here. There's at least a couple more somewhere that I'm not thinking of. But anyway. Our solution to that is actually coming along really well. Okay, good. That's built. This is built. Okay, these can be demolished now. This is almost built. At this point, if we had to run water through here right now, it wouldn't flood anything that's not that big of a deal. So I think we can probably just run water over these thorns, but I'm not actually sure. They look like water can flow through them, but it does say it blocks irrigation. So I assume... Why is everybody running around like they're hungry? No, there's tons of food. Stop whining. They're just too busy to go get food. Okay. Once this wall is finished, the water will start diverting this way. I'm kind of curious what happens if those bombs get wet. If they start going to blow immediately, or... Or if nothing happens. I'm going to assume probably nothing happens, because I haven't actually seen anything about bombs possibly exploding early. Also, we now have an unemployed beaver, despite the hauling and post and builder's hut. Okay, well that'll change as soon as we get to metalworking, which we're getting to quite soon now. Alright, this is all built. We won't flood the trees when the new water flow enters. We're so close to having this dammed off. Okay. Is there a tunnel underneath there, or is that just dead ending? There is a tunnel there. Okay, does it lead anywhere exciting? Not really. We might have to build a dam across there at some point. For now, I think we're good. Yeah, you go right ahead and blow up. I don't care. Let's go ahead and demolish this. That's almost done. 3 more blocks to build. They're getting started on this, which means we're going to start building up the cliffside soon. Okay. Replanting all this is going to be somewhat problematic. I think I'm just going to have to go ahead and order it not be replanted. Yeah, alright. Anyway. I kind of want to leave this corner right here unplanted. Whoa, okay, here come the floods. That'll recede in a bit. Hell yeah, more water. Yep. Oh, Zarius, up to level 30 with all characters in Inferno now? Yeah, all ready to go. Okay. Yeah, this is nice that that can flow through there. Okay, secondary water source has been engaged. We are flooding around the edges a little bit. That'll be solved once this is built and it stops flooding through there. I hope. I'd really like to blow this a little bit off here to get smoother water flow out. But we don't have dynamite yet. We won't for a little while. We're right on the ragged edge of too much water to flow out. It'll help when we get this blocked off. Then we'll have more capacity for flow through here. And when this is blocked off, it'll stop flowing in from there and should be a little more controlled. Okay, things are looking up. Now, in case of emergency, we can just quick build some stuff around the hole in the middle and we should be protected, mostly. Speaking of, this core is about to blow. We might as well watch it. It's got a half day to go. A third of a day to go. .1 days. Kaboom. Big ol' slug of bad water flows in and does nothing because we already built the wall. Hell yeah. That would have completely wrecked us because it would completely wreck our main water source. Although actually it wouldn't have completely wrecked us because we do have the secondary water source. It would have just made things very inconvenient for a while. We would have actually been in a state we could recover from not having that wall. Purely because of what we've did up here and over here. So we are in a much better position than we were last time already. The water has calmed down a lot over here now that the rest of the levee and dams are in. So that's good. How much horsepower is this producing? 50? We should probably soon start putting more water wheels and put a little more water control structure in there, but first we need to get up here and get this blocked off and some other stuff. Well, there's still a little bit of water surges. Yeah, it's still surging a little bit occasionally. But we're going to fix that in a bit. How many planks do we have on hand? Well, we still have a decent number in storage. That's good. They're building the metalsmith, which is fine. Yeah. Okay. Just a couple more little raises here, and then we can block that off, and that will solve that issue. Oh, no drought yet or anything. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and place a couple of scavenger flags up here. And then I'm going to place a large industrial pile over there for scrap metal. So we should start getting scrap metal down here, which we can then turn into metal bits, which we can use to build the dynamite factory I haven't purchased yet. So let's go buy that. Explosives factory. Boom. The explosives factory is going to go over on this side of the river, I think. I'm going to go ahead and make some minor changes here. Boom. So we're going to put levees in like that. And then we're going to put water wheels across the whole thing. And then the explosives factory is going to go right there. And we're going to need Badwater for the explosives factory. So we'll put a small tank here that will store Badwater. And we'll get a Badwater pump. And that will go up here somewhere. I'd really like to have it pulling out of this pit. So we can do this. That way we'll have Badwater even in droughts. Okay. So these scavenger flags are complaining they don't have anything to do. That's fine and normal. When this levee is completed, they will have something to do. Okay, beautiful. Things are coming together quite handily. One more levee and the Badwater flow will stop through here. And that should smooth up the water flowing out of here a good bit, because it won't have to compete with the Badwater for capacity, which will hopefully make the water back up in here less. Okay, that's almost built. What other nearby sources of metal do we have? Not really much of anything. Okay. Hell yeah. No more Badwater flowing out of there. This should slowly decontaminate itself by mixing and being hauled away. Then we can harness the whole width of the river, which will give us more power, but not really enough to run everything at full speed. Okay, this is a high priority construction site. Scrap metal's coming in. We still have 3 beavers who don't have jobs. That's fine. Once the explosive factory and metalsmith come online, that'll help some with that. Also the Badwater pump. We do have 5 beavers who don't have houses now. So I should probably fix that problem. Okay. Now. Got a drought, so we won't have any water flow. It's not really going to be much of an issue, honestly. Actually, it might be a bit of an issue because we don't really have enough water storage. I need to get gear production online. It's not really a great time to do it, but... we'll go ahead and order it built anyway. I probably have to delete one of these dams to let some of this water flow in. Matter of fact, I should probably do it right now. That'll get some water to flow into this area here. Now, let's order that dam rebuilt. I really should put floodgates there instead, but by allowing that little bit of extra water to flow into here, hopefully that'll be enough to keep the water supply taken care of. We need to unlock the larger water tank. So let's go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. And then where am I going to pump out of? I'd like to pump out of the hole in the center here, because that is a relatively deep pit and we can pump out of there much longer. Okay, medium tank for water we will put over here by beaver housing, I think. Yeah, and then we're going to set this to obtain water so we can empty the water out of the small tanks, hopefully. Obviously we need gears for that, which we need. We're not going to get gears until the water is back. It's a 4-day drought. Hopefully we'll be fine. If we pump water right up to the, as long as we can into the drought, like this is about to dry up. But we pump as much of this water out of here as we can. We're going to lose some kohlrabi. But the trees will all be fine. The blueberries should all be fine. Yeah, we're going to lose a bit of kohlrabi here, but nobody cares about that. We have too much of that planted anyway. Or not too much, just more than we need. Okay, looks like we almost have Badwater available. We don't need it immediately, but the metalsmith should be pumping out metal parts, which we're going to need for the Badwater pump. And we've been using them on the explosives factory. So we're going to have explosives soon. It's very good news. We have 2.7 days of drought left. 127 water. I don't remember how much water a beaver uses per day. We might be fine on water to the end of the drought. Guess we'll find out. We're definitely not going to have beavers dying of thirst before the end of the drought, because they have better thirst resistance than that. We probably used up all the stored planks. Yes, we have. Alright, we really need a better power source, too. 4 small water wheels in our river is insufficient. The nice thing is we can use the Badwater source here, which is pretty fast flowing. But we can redesign this spell channel here to solve any future issues we may have. Also, we need to get down on this side so that we can block this explosive off. We need our explosives of our own so we can reshape this, so that this explosive is no longer an issue. And then the last major threat we'll have to our water source, I believe, will be here. And I don't know if I can reasonably solve this. So that's going to take some non-trivial work. We can probably dig or build down into this hole. And then we would have to dig through here ourselves, build a blockage out here in the middle, and then get everybody out. So that when this one eventually goes, it would blow a bunch of mess over there, but it wouldn't, at least it would not contaminate our water supply. The alternative to this problem would be cutting off this bad water source. And if I remember correctly, this is non-trivial. Yeah, it's a big bad water source over here, which we would have to... It's in a big old cave down underground. We'd have to open it up from above, seal it. Yeah, it's not a reasonable thing. Okay, drought's over. And this is going to blow. Haha. Well, guess what, buddy? We already solved you. Get wrecked. I have a feeling that all of these bombs are sequenced from easiest to deal with to hardest to deal with. Except this one, I would say, is a lot easier to deal with than the one that was over here that went before it. So we better start planning on these being a problem. And the one deep underground we better start planning on too. We need to not dawdle here. We're out of water, but the water is coming back, so that's going to fix itself here in a second. We should probably get a 4th water pump. I'm not sure what the... I'm not sure how much water a water pump, how many beavers a water pump can supply. There we go. Anyway. Got a decent amount of scrap metal on hand. There comes the power turning back on. Water supply is going to be back on soon. I mean, it is back on, but it'll be supplied enough that beavers won't be complaining anymore soon. I kind of wish that if beavers were thirsty enough, they would just go drink out of a water source. But it's got to be pumped first. Like maybe have it make them sick or something. It's gonna take quite a while to get everybody rewatered. Oh, and we've got some surges going again. Could you not? Thank you. Let's check a random beaver. Yeah, his thirst's not too bad yet. We'll be fine. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and order the demolition of that tree. Yeah, let's get a fourth water pump. These should all be set to be high priority jobs, or higher priority jobs. We still haven't caught up on water. I'm really surprised. Thought it would have been taken care of by now. It's a lot better than it was. There's definitely not nearly as many running around with problems. Planks and gears are the first ones are coming out now. We might end up losing... Oh, yep, we lost a beaver to thirst. Okay. We might end up losing a few to thirst purely because they're not getting water in any priority order. They're purely getting water as to who happens to get there first. So the ones that are a little thirsty are stealing water from some of the ones that are very thirsty. But once we have the big medium tank here built, which is going to take a while because it needs stuff I don't have available in large quantities yet. But once the big tank comes online, that's going to solve most, if not all, of our problems. For at least a little while. We'll want to add more large tanks eventually, but... Unstable core... Okay, that's that one. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. We really need to get a bigger industrial center going. But... let's go ahead and buy the dynamite research. The dirt excavator would be pretty nice to get down to some of those areas we'll have to reach. I really need tall platforms though, so we can seal that hole if we have to. Well, tall platforms and more... Okay, water problem is solved. We lost 2 beavers to thirst? No. Yeah, 2 beavers to thirst. That's all. Not an issue. Man, this place is riddled with so many weird tunnels. Okay, anyway. Yeah, I think after we get our current round of stuff built, The next priority is more power from this bad waterfall right here. And making this core safe. Those are our next two priorities. So to that end, I need to start considering how we're going to get over to here. And I think the answer is that I'm going to unlock the double platform. And we're just going to build platform bridges across. Like that. And then we're going to dynamite some of this out and build stuff in this channel. I'm going to go ahead and get the triple platform as well, because it'll be handy later. Okay. Build a little bit of levee right there. Except we don't need to do it right now. If we just have a path down there, we can build a little bit of levee there at any point if this starts blinking. Or if this one starts blinking, either one. And then what I really want to do is dynamite this edge out to make it nice and straight. And then I'll put in platforms going down to hold large water wheels, probably. Yeah, because we're going to want some large water wheels. Probably 2 across, or maybe just 1 across. If you look at the large water wheel, you can run water 2 deep underneath it. So if we cut this to be straight and then fill in this side of it and make a really narrow but fast flowing channel that drops rapidly, because then we put like a levee right there. We would cut this down a little bit. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. It's like we would put dynamite in here to blow this a little deeper. We can do that from the shore, so we don't actually have to get into the bad water. Okay. Actually, I have decided that I don't quite want to do this the way I had originally envisioned. I want to put it back farther. Because putting it way out here on the edge like this is going to be a bad idea. Like, I do want the edge to be there. But I need to be able to reach each of these altitudes. So I think we'll be better off if we put in some fun little switchbacks. Oops. Get out of there. Even this isn't quite right. Spiral stairs would be quite handy, but we don't have the materials for them yet. And I don't want to unlock the processing requirements for those materials until I actually need them. Let me think. This would probably be a good spot for a spiral staircase. Like a good old traditional spiral staircase. Not one of these newfangled ones. Oops. I'm doing it wrong. Okay. There we go. Upon second thought, I don't want to do that. There. I mean, I do want to do that, but I want to put it like 2 tiles over. Yeah, make explosives, please. Thank you. The Badwater pump isn't done yet, but it's close. Yeah, I want to move this 2 tiles over. I kind of wish I could just grab the building and move it, but alas. Damn it. Stop stacking that. Go away. There we go. Now, double platforms. You go away as well, because what we actually want is like that. And then, boom, boom. Get that out of there. Okay. That should build that back far enough that we'll have plenty of room to modify this as needed to fit wheels if we have to. We probably will have to. Or at least I probably want to. And I have changed my mind about how I want to do this very slightly. I don't want to put dynamite there. I want this to remain available for constructing on top of. And we're going to put our channel right here. Which means less building of levees as will be required. Okay, and we need to get over to their side of this. Okay, yeah, let's wait for we have dynamite before we start messing with this at all. Let's wait till we have dynamite. Speaking of having dynamite, I want to blow that out. Okay, what blew? This blew. Nothing happened, of course, because I planned around it. Now, you're complaining you don't have bad water, that's fine. You don't need it yet. We need more gears for it. You're almost done. You have ways to go. You, of course, we don't have dynamite yet. Alright. We're low on food. Oh, really? That's not good. Well, that means we should start upgrading to better food production. Which means we need powered fermenters. And unfortunately, powered is going to be annoying to do. We're working on powered, but we don't have it yet. So really I should probably just build a third farmhouse and get more beavers harvesting and otherwise dealing with things. Let's remove those so we can build a second farmhouse. Okay. And you should prioritize planting. Build that now. We don't have a food emergency, but we're running low. So I need to plan around that, basically. Alright, bad water pump is up. That means explosives are going to be on the way soon. That's good. I should put in a storage for metal parts. We're going to have a bad tide soon. Damn it, we're not going to have that storage ready in time. Alright, everybody. Build water storages, very high priority. Oh shit, we're gonna lose all of our food too. Prioritize harvesting, prioritize harvesting. Forgot to select water on the storages right away. You're already selected for water. Okay, that's good. Water, water. Not enough water everywhere. Okay, that'll help considerably. Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do about preventing the bad tide from being a giant issue. Not right now. I could have sealed around this and put a second exit over there if I'd gotten around to it earlier, but it's too late by the time we saw notification it's arriving. And I should have considered that that was a thing I would need to do, but for now we'll just let the Badwater run through and it won't be that big of a deal. It'll kind of be a big deal. But it won't be like a 3-alarm fire emergency, hopefully. We should hopefully have enough food on hand by the time it arrives. Here. We'll have 2 unprioritized plant and 2 unprioritized, or 2 unprioritized harvest and 2 unprioritized plant. That should keep the harvestable stuff immediately harvested, while still planting enough that we can get the last little bit out before it all dies. Okay. Now, that is not connected up. Oops. Okay, you can go away. That's going to be the new water channel. Right through here. Oh, wait. Cancel that. This does not get deepened. If I put this here, that should hopefully let us get across to there. Actually, wait, I don't want that there. Boom. Okay. Below the... No, don't delete them. Detonate those 2. And then we take a double high and put it right there. And we keep blowing our way across. Got to put in some temporary stuff to get out there to blow the last couple in the middle. That or do it during a drought. Anyway, bad tide. We don't have water anymore. We hopefully have enough stored. Wait, bad tide's over already. Okay. Well, this will all flush out then, and we should be good in a day or so. I wasn't paying close enough attention and missed when it started. We might not actually lose our farms after all, simply because of how fast it's going to flow out. This is going to start flushing everything in a little bit. Okay. Now, got a very fast-flowing, narrow strip there. And then we're going to probably build most of this back up some. I might not have wanted to blow that out upon second thought. Oh well. It'll be fine. This part I definitely want to blow out, because I want that to be too deep right from the start. This part I might not have wanted to. One way or another, we can fix it later with construction. Beaver is on well. Well, it sucks to be him, but it's probably the guy who's gathering them from the mangroves. Wait, that's the wrong one to use there. Oops. Oh, wait, that's the right one. It didn't look right, though. Okay, let me think for a second. How do I want to do this? Right here is where I want the entrance. Okay, I want levees right there. So the large water wheel, which I'm going to go ahead and unlock right now, is going to go like right here. Probably right there. So I want to put the platform behind it a little bit so we have room to squeeze in gates if I want to put floodgates behind it. Yeah, so this is correct. And these definitely need to be blown out. And then this does actually need to be blown out, but this needs to be built up. Actually. So I don't want to blow that out yet. I shouldn't have blown that out, but it's fine, TM. Okay. Things that I do want to blow out, though, is I want to blow that out to this level. We'll probably have a couple of levels of drop, so I might need to blow this out anyway. We'll probably have a couple levels of drop, and then another wheel. So this lip's likely going to be blown back some, so I can stick the wheel back in a little farther. And we'll have a waterfall like right here. Okay, we get levees right there. And then we'll have levees right there. Okay. We'll put those there so you can get over here to build that. And then... yeah. Power takeoff will be right here on this tile. Which means... this bit of road's gotta go. We'll likely connect the wheels together on this side and do power takeoff right here. Uh-oh. Okay, this should all dry up and go away on its own. This is all cleared up. I should build a better dam over here so that we can let the water out through there during a bad tide instead of letting it flow in. And I should put a non-reversing setup here so that the water we retain this water even when we're letting bad tide flow out. That's on the list of things to do, but not a huge priority. Okay. Look at that. We got a little 1 tile wide just racing down there. We want another double platform there. Now, we should start building our power shafting here. Need a vertical power shaft. I forgot they changed all this to be so much easier to build. Yeah, this is all completely different. Power shafting was way more complicated last time I played this. And I, personally, am very fond of the new simple system. Okay. To get this power out of here, I'm going to go ahead and build to there. Just build right along that. Actually, no, I don't want to build that way quite. Let's build that. Just keep it at the height it was. We don't need to drop it down. And that way, when we get to the road, we can just keep going right over top of it. And then I think we're going to bring the power down like right over here somewhere. Like that. Okay. Power. Vertical power shaft. This is so nice compared to the way it used to be. As long as we build it from the back toward the front, we shouldn't have any issues with beavers getting stuck. And then we can just connect that straight into there. Pretty significant amount of shafting. Could you not build those yet? Thank you. Bastards. Oh well. We'll have to get up there some other way. Largest shaft you've ever seen? I kind of doubt it. Okay. What does it cost to build this giant water wheel? Stuff that we have plenty of, okay. It's not even expensive. Okay. It looks like we have a bunch of jobs with no beavers. But it's not so many that we have issues. See some shafts that weigh several tons and take a crane to move. Repairing it's problematic? Oh, I bet. I bet. I really like the changes to the water physics, where you can do things like this now. Before, there just wasn't enough capacity to run all the water through a narrow channel like this. But now, you just get faster flow rate if you do that. Before there was some weird shit with the flow rate getting too high, it wouldn't let it do it. And, it looks like we have scrap metal beavers sitting on their ass because we're full on scrap metal. Okay, that's good actually. I should build a storage thing for explosives. Let's just put a small storage over here. And we will store explosives in it. It's only 30 explosives, but that's a lot more than what we can store in the factory by itself. I need to build proper large storage setups, but later. That can happen later. We're also short on planks, which we are indeed short on planks. We need to build a bunch more lumber mills. But we can't do that till we have more power. Like right now, network supply 250, network demand 345. Nothing is going to be running at top speed. So building more sawmills would technically get us more planks, but at the cost of just making everything else much slower. It would just change the ratio of planks to everything else. Not inherently a bad thing, but... how are we doing on food now that we've added a third? Looks like we have a good amount stored. Okay, that's good. So once we get our power up here running, then it's time to start hardening the place against bad tides. And the way I'm going to do that, we're going to make it so we can seal the center, or not seal the center shaft, but we're going to make it so we can not let water flow from this level in or out. Matter of fact, I'm going to start designating it while I'm thinking about it. So we're going to put floodgates there. Levees there. Boom. And then what we need to do to when a bad tide hits, we technically don't even need these floodgates, except to keep water from flowing back down the hole. Because what we're going to do next is we're going to go unseal this blockage. Now, speaking of which, okay, suddenly it's a priority. We've got a couple of high priority things need to get done now. That's top priority. Next up, we can just delete one of these levees, and that will, or two or three of those levees, and that'll solve the problem of bad water coming in from that direction. This needs to happen now. But I don't think that's actually going to matter because we can't unseal this quickly enough. Because we can't get over there. We have to build a thing over, get beavers over there to unseal that. Yeah. But this needs to be done before we can unseal that. Ideally, we want to unseal this during good weather while this is flowing. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see when we get over there. Okay. This is not going to get done in time for bad tide, I don't think. Are we out of... Oh, we just can't reach that because it's too far away. Bastards. Okay. Well, this needs to get done too, so... If we can get our builders into the water in time, it'll work. Right now, I don't think it's going to happen, though, because everybody's ignoring this. Build it first. There should only be, like, one beaver working on this shit. Well, more than that, hopefully, but... Yeah. Well, it doesn't help that we're out of planks. No, we're not. We have planks in storage. What are you on about? Build that then. Okay, they got the planks there. They just need to build it. And we're not going to be in time, and we're just going to have to set this to don't build and wait. Okay. Well, there's a small chance we might get there in time. They did build this. We do have plenty of logs. Yeah, no, it's 0.2 days, 0.1 day. Okay, no. Set this to very low priority. We'll do that after bad tide. Okay. We've got lots of construction projects that can work on it. We've got enough water stored now. We don't have to worry about that. We have food stored. We're not actually going to have any problems. We'll just have to... let's pause this gather flag so he doesn't go swimming around in the bad tide either. Okay, we're not actually going to experience any serious ill effects from this. Maybe the mangroves might die. We might lose our kohlrabi. Neither of those is an actual problem. We might maybe lose smokes or something. Also not a big problem. Speaking of which, it is time to replant this to pine. I want to leave that alone so we can put a sap shack in there later. I believe the tapper's shack is, yes, it is 2x2. Okay, good. That'll get us the pine resin we need later. Okay. Could you, slime, stop building that? I ordered you specifically low priority. There's plenty of building tasks up here on the hill to work on. Honestly. You can build the vertical power shaft. Work on that instead. Wait. Mistakes were made. Okay, bad tide's over already. It'll take a little while for it all to clear out, but that's fine. We're finally getting the dynamite here in place. Okay. Large, no, not large power wheel, large water wheel. Goes right there. Actually, why would I want to blow this out? That's too far back. Yes, I'd like to demolish that. I want to put a levee right there. And I actually want a levee right there, too. Yeah, okay, there we go. That's much better. This I want to blow out. And then we need levees down here, right there. And we're going to need a levee there. And here. That should work. Put a levee there. And there. And there. Okay. Yeah, this gotta blow. And then this gotta be blown down more. This has gotta be blown out. This needs to be built up. I'm sure you begin to see the shape that's, well, taking form, taking shape. We have one water wheel up here, one water wheel down here, with a single tile of waterfall space between them. Okay. Now, Large water wheel. Boom. And then another one will go right here. Right there. Which means we need to get some power set up over here. There is the power connection, so I can hook these two together. I run over there, and then we put a vertical shaft right here. Man, I love the new power setup. It's not terribly new, I don't think, but it's new to me, and that's what matters. Platform there. To get across this, I really kind of need a bridge, but I don't have one yet. So we're going to have to do some nice, tall platforms. Get over to the other side of the river here. Yeah, that'll do for construction. Okay. This is all cleared out. Let's go ahead and bump this up to high priority, not very high. And then I kind of need to, now that we have this water loss prevention here, I do need to remove some of this. So we can put in double floodgates. Like so. And then just run some double platforms across the back of it. Okay. Now, what do we have in the way of automation? Is any of this stuff useful yet? We can build depth sensors, flow sensors. We can't build the contamination sensor, which is the one we actually want yet. Eventually what we want is we want a contamination sensor built like right here somewhere that measures contamination at the bottom of the thing here, and then immediately seals these gates and opens the bottom gates over there to let this area flow open. And similarly, we want a contamination sensor over here to open these gates as soon as they detect this water is contaminated. And I do want to replace these dams with, and these dams for that matter, with floodgates, or at least a floodgate. Probably just one floodgate. That can release water from higher to lower areas when needed. Eventually I want to dam off a valley and flood it. But I'm not sure where. That's a tunnel right there. Where does it go? Oh, into that shaft. Okay. Does it go anywhere else? Yeah, up here. Man, this place has some intriguing possibilities. Oh. That core is going to go. Oh boy. That's actually probably the best one. No, that's the worst one that could have gone. Okay. There's nothing we can do about this core, even if I had noticed in time. Yet. And after it goes, it's definitely we might get bad water welling up out of here. Which would be bad. So I'm going to just assume that we are going to get bad water welling out of there. Actually, wait, I don't want water running there, do I? Where was this going again? Nowhere useful. That's where it's going. Damn it. Okay, we can just delete all that. If we do get bad water welling up here, I guess we're just kind of screwed. I'll have to think of something then. Yeah. These are levees. Okay, that's good. Where can I even drain that? I guess the best thing I can do here and then blow open a channel that runs over and dumps it here. I don't think I have enough dynamite for this. Okay. All right. That's a bit of a priority. Hopefully we won't need it. If we do need it, I'm just going to let the bad water flow out this way and we won't have the secondary water source for a little while. So it's not a complete disaster. Even if bad water does well up there. This is probably lower priority than that though. So let's go ahead and set this to be all low priority. Okay. This is very high priority. As is that. And that. I do kind of want that blocked off as well. Okay. How much dynamite do we have? We've actually got plenty of dynamite. Okay. So that actually won't be a problem, as the dynamite won't be. I didn't think we had enough dynamite, but I guess we do. The good news here is if this does well up, as long as we leave these floodgates set to 0, which I'm going to, it shouldn't immediately start flowing out over here. So yeah, it'll be a problem, but not a huge problem. Oh wait, that's a high priority task as well. Man, we're gonna have a bad tide anyway. How are we doing on food? Not amazingly, but not terrible either. What do I need to build the big storage? 80 planks? That's kind of brutal. Let's build another medium warehouse for more kohlrabi space eventually. Okay, this piece of shit's gonna blow. Let's see what the problem actually gives us. Boom, okay. So this has to be solved and fairly quickly, because when this one blows, it's going to immediately and instantly contaminate our main water source. However, we will get another water source flowing into here. So it's not all bad. It's just mostly bad. Okay, so the real question is, yes, it is going to flow out into this area. Okay. We do have an answer for that on the way. It won't actually fill up beyond this level, apparently. Where is the outflow? Oh, the outflow's over here. Okay. Okay, we're good. I didn't notice the outflow was over there. Okay, we're good. We don't need half of this shit then. Well, let's go ahead and cancel most of this. These levees will actually hold it. Okay. No, they won't. No, they won't. I was wrong. This outflow isn't capable of handling it quite. If we build up the height more, it should help. Please don't flow through there and contaminate my stuff. Thank you. It shouldn't. It looks like it's not going to be consistently a problem. We're definitely going to put as much into this as we can. I don't want to start running fresh water through here to flush it. I'm going to actually delete this dam. Just one bit of it. To let this flush itself out. That direction, so we don't have any chance of contaminating this. We do have a rather large, non-obvious issue. There's a bad tide starting soon, so I don't know why I ordered that. But anyway. When this one goes, our main water source is going to be revocably contaminated. Okay, please don't go build that. So at that point, we are going to have to rely on this water source. Which isn't ideal. It can be worked around. Obviously. Gonna rebuild that dam. Okay, these floodgates can be closed again when the bad tide goes away. Hell yeah. Alright, things are improving slightly. That needs to blow. And we need to put another one there. I do wish I had the double explosives, but we don't have the chemicals for that right now. That'll be a future problem. The bad tide's lasting longer and longer each time, obviously, which isn't ideal. We have enough food. We definitely need to get more food going eventually. Which means I really need to irrigate a larger area, or I need to switch over to, well, I need to irrigate a larger area and I need to start growing a second type of food. I don't want to increase the size of our current farm. Kind of surprised they blew this one next, because that is the biggest threat to our beaver's existence. Was that explosive. What we really need to do is start capping sources at their, well, source. We need to track down all the bad water seeps, and we need to block them off, cap them off, divert them someplace away from all the channels they're currently filling. Because there are water sources that we just can't use because they're dumping into bad water contaminated tunnels. And once we get rid of that, things should improve significantly. Anyway, bad tide's almost over. This is almost built up to the ideal safety level. Okay, bad tide's over. Let's wait for this to flush clean and then we will close the floodgates. There we go. I need contamination sensors. Okay. Lovely. This will start flowing in through here and it'll flush all this out quickly. It's going to take quite a while for the main water source to flush clean, because there's no outlet for most of this. Honestly, most of this probably never got contaminated in the first place, really, because there's no reason for water to ever flow that direction. I think there's a little bit of a connection here. If not, then it's close. There is no connection right there. Is there a bomb that'll make one? It doesn't look like it. Oh, yes, there is. Okay. So we have another bomb. This bomb here will let another contamination source into our main water, but downstream of us. So I really need to be able to open and close this drain down here. Is there one that'll open and close this drain, like another bomb? No. There is just an empty cavern there, interestingly enough. Weird. Okay. It's almost like they forgot to put the unstable core, 9 days. Which one? You. Okay, that's actually okay. I am fine with this. We need to open up that drain anyway. I would rather have opened it on my own, though. What's going to happen is in 9 days, that's going to blow open. All of the water in the tunnels underneath us is going to flow out of there, and we're no longer going to be receiving water from the center tap. The good news is, that means we just need to finish building this floodgate and this levee. And we're protected already, because we have our own secondary water source up here that we have much better control over. Full control over whether this gets contaminated or not. I think we've actually reached the point now, when this new explosion happens, I think we will actually have reached the point where we won't have to worry about explosions going forward. They will change the water dynamics, but I don't think any of them will actually create issues. Also, we're out of food. That is quite bad. Could you bastards stop eating so much? You're gonna get fat. Food. I need power. Okay, that's sealed forever. We're good there. This is controllable. We're good there. We'll never have bad tides flowing through the middle of this base again, because this explosion's about ready to ensure that's not going to happen. See, if I go ahead and close these floodgates, the water wells up over the top, which we don't actually want. We still have bad tide stuck in here, though, like contaminated water. It's not completely contaminated, but it's not being flushed out fast enough. In a way, this would actually be good, because I could drop these floodgates and let water flow down the hole. This isn't a very strong water source, but it's a good one. It's safe. There's no contamination sources that can reach it anymore. The one underground is much stronger, but is not safe. And I am going to actually delete one of these dams, probably. Yeah, there's ways to get over to the other side. They're not good ways, but there's ways. let that water flow out of there. So let's replace all 3 of these with platforms. That should slowly make this better. I need to put a big water reservoir in somewhere too. So I probably should seal that gap. And then like seal this over here, or probably seal it here actually. No, because I want to fill it higher than that. I would need to put a better wall around this hole. And then we can fill this whole valley with water. Put in a better flood control dam over here. The problem with that is when a bad tide happens, the water seep is right in the middle of it. So we'd really have to contain this in a way that we can divert or dump into the reservoir. Which wouldn't be very hard. We just need to put a contamination... We need a contamination sensor is what we need. Because I'm not going to be manually tweaking that. But we can easily turn this valley into a reservoir by just blocking some gaps here and there and dealing with this hole in the ground. Or at least we can fill it to that level quite easily. See, actually, how high is that? It would be to this level, so we could fill this lower valley without any trouble. Out to here, 1 tile higher over here. So I could remove these dams on the edge and replace them with 2 tile high floodgate. And use that to control water release. This is already tall enough. We just delete this levee here. It's not serving any purpose anymore anyway. Delete this dam here probably. Make this flood control dam 1 tile taller. Basically build it out here in this gap instead. So I need triple floodgates probably. Yeah, we can afford this. So put triple floodgates there. There would be the new flood control dam. What we could use to drain the whole reservoir if we had to. Let's put in some simple access passages here. Get people to the bottom of the dam. That way they can build it. Unstable core is about to blow. In 3 days, okay. It's just was alerting us a little more vigorously. Okay. Let's remove this path. Boom. And then delete that. Platform there. And then levee along there. And then we're going to need to delete these dams. And then we put in double high floodgates with double high platforms behind them so we can get to them for construction purposes. Okay. Lovely. And we'll delete those old dams later. Progression on the power continues. We do have to be careful about this. I do want these down to 0.65. We do have to be careful. I don't want to accidentally cut off our main water source, which is what this is now. Just because the old water source is about ready to drain. Because in the previous iteration of this settlement, I did delete one of these blockages. And before I could get it sealed, we had major issues because we didn't have a secondary water source at the time. And it drained a ton of water. We almost lost beavers to dehydration because we couldn't pump out of here. The food problems are really annoying. I need power. I can just put in a fermenter, I suppose, without tons of power. I don't really want it there, though. Where do I want it? Nowhere, really. I kind of want this area to be industrial, but it is a nice large green area that I should probably be using for farming. Okay, the core just blew. Let's have a look at the area. There's the tail end of our old main water source. And now it's happily flowing off the map at high speed. Right over here is our base, I believe. No. Yeah. No, base is over here. Right above there is where our base is. And as you can see, that hole ain't got much water left in it. There's still some there, but it's gone down considerably. Enough that all of our water in here would drain away if we hadn't put those floodgates in. Okay, so that cuts off a significant chunk of the power we had available. Now those power wheels are barely producing anything at all. Which means we need to put this power project back on high priority. Actually, can they reach these? No, they cannot. Damn it. Okay, well, I don't know what I expected. Need to get up there with a stair. How are we doing on jobs? We have not enough of them, okay. Well, here, you two can get out of the way then. Boom. That should do it. Okay. We've got 40 scrap metal laying on the ground. I really don't want to waste scrap metal. I'm going to go ahead and build another large industrial pile down here and set it to hold scrap metal and supply. Set that to high priority. And I really need to solve the food problem. I'm not doing that right now. Oh, mangroves is part of the issue. There we go. No wonder he wasn't replaying the mangroves. Well, that's not going to help us immediately, but... we can at least plant a few more mangroves. That'll help some. Yeah, we got beavers starving now. Alright, fine. Let's put in some temporary. Fermenter. Oh, we got a drought approaching. That's great. Let's get a farmhouse over here. Plant. No, plant crops. There we go. That'll hopefully be plenty. Let's leave a second. We'll leave an area there for a second farmhouse if we need it. Top priority. Nope. Medium priority workplace. Top priority construction. There we go. Okay, the wheel's getting built at least. Okay, that should work hopefully. Okay. We've got plenty of water pumped. Who's stranded where? How in the hell did you get your ass stranded over there? Fine, build that, damn it. They are building it already, but now they'll build it faster. Look, Mr. Stranded, instead of sitting there on your ass, you could build that platform and rescue yourself. How's that? Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. We don't have enough workers to run the hauling post. That's fine. It's not actually an issue. Why aren't these working? Oh, because we ran out of frickin' berries, that's why. Okay. The food problem. Okay, this is producing 791 horsepower. If we could only get it down here and to this area, we would have all the power we would ever need. Okay, these take 5 days to grow. We should be fine. We might lose a couple more to starvation, but I hope not. Alright. Dam's coming along well. Also, it is 11 o'clock, I just noticed. It's not ideal. Let's take that up in a higher priority so we can get Beaver to run that. Part of the reason why we don't have anybody working at the hauling post is because we just got more farmers. Yeah. Anyway. There's the drought. That dried up very quickly. Yeah. That whole area is going to drain. This is actually kind of not necessarily the worst thing that could happen. because all the contamination and stuff in this lower area is going to drain out, and it should all clear up. Ideally, I would be ready ahead of time for these droughts, so I could go like down this hole and seal some stuff up down there and things like that, but we do not have the capability of doing that right now. It just cannot happen. No matter how much I would like it to. Because trying to get down into here is going to be interesting, shall we say. So ideally what I would do is I would dig a shaft beside it, build stairs down that, and then during a drought, build a tunnel from connecting the two. And then we could go do whatever we need to do down at the bottom while the drought lasted. And then seal it back up before the end of the drought. That's about the only reasonable thing we could do. And that's not overly reasonable. At least not right now it isn't. It might be someday. Do I literally have to put paths right there so you guys can reach these? Oh, I see what I did. I, officially, am not very smart sometimes. Better fix that. Okay. That'll work. Okay, that should solve a few things. That's reachable, right? Yes, it is. Okay, good. Okay, very good. Still have 5 days of drought left. We actually have some food in storage for once. That's good. Unfortunately, this can't run. So despite the fact that we're actually getting new crops available, we can't actually process them because we don't have power. But our food crisis should hopefully be over as soon as the power kicks back on, which will happen in 4.5 days. And we should have enough food to last until then, I think. I will need to build some proper storages somewhere. We don't really have a good warehousing set up at the moment. The settlement's a bit of a disaster in some ways. I really kind of need to start building new beaver housing someplace else, together with beaver food storage warehouses, and kind of get everything set up. On the plus side, the new flood control dam is about done. So that's good. The main reservoir control dam, which will determine just how much goes to the settlement and how much gets dumped off the map edge. Anyway, I think at this point There are no immediate crises. I think all of the building deficiencies have been corrected as much as can be. So I think we're going to go ahead and save the game here. And we continue that next week. Now. All right. We have a source of clean water that will remain clean, more importantly. We don't have an immediate food crisis, and we have a solution to the larger food crisis in place. So we have power anyway. Our power problems are solved, and will be even more solved when the other half of the power dam is done. New water reservoir. So the drought problem will be solved next time we have a drought. The problem of various bombs going off all over the map solved itself. Although it wouldn't have solved itself if we didn't have the secondary water source. If I hadn't got that secondary water source set up, we would be kind of screwed right now. So that was inspired bit of engineering there. Without that, I don't like to think about how our settlement would have ended, because it wouldn't have been very good. We would have had to try to pump water out of the ground and through that little hole in the center. As soon as that got contaminated, we'd be screwed. And it looks like it's going to get contaminated before long. All in all, things would have ended very badly. But anyway. All of that will be for next week, though. Tomorrow is Thursday. And I believe we will be doing XCOM tomorrow. I don't remember where we were at in the campaign, really. I mean, I kind of have a vague feeling of it, but yeah. Gonna blow up some aliens one way or the other. Hopefully we can get some new, better fighter craft and stuff like that tomorrow. But we'll see. Maybe get some plasma cannons and stuff like that on our fighters. We have plasma weaponry for most everybody. We have Titan armor in most everybody now. So we're actually getting into the end game. But anyway. Don't think a Badwater is bad. It's just got drugs mixed in. Yeah, well, it kills my beavers if I'm not careful, so can't have that. Anyway. Friday, of course, will be EDF. Which there's no way that's not happening unless somebody else has to skip, because I'm not skipping. And then Saturday and Sunday, probably Valheim. It's highly unlikely that I'll be doing any RuneScape those days, at least on stream. We might have shorter than normal streams again this weekend, but we'll see. There should be at least some Valheim, I hope. And of course, Monday will be Crab. And then Wednesday next week will be more Beaver. Oh well. Hopefully, I see you all back here tomorrow for some good old XCOM Enemy Within. And I will see you all later. Good night and goodbye.